goose. It looks like a goose.
He's
bro.
chilling. I'm
Yeah,
chilling.
we got
Alright guys, welcome back to our fourth SFL Heron TV Podcast. I'm here with the Heron gang. Well, we just played our inaugural game against LAFC. We lost 1-0 thanks to a fantastic chip by Carlos Vela. What do you guys have to say about the game?
You don't think that was a mistake from the backline?
Too much respect.
It was lucky, for sure.
It was lucky, but I mean, I still
I think
feel
it
it.
was skill.
You have to give
You
him
think it
credit.
was skill?
I think it was
It
skill.
was a lucky rebound from the Figal and another defender, but you have
No.
to give him. You have to give him credit to the.
No,
finish.
obviously. I mean, you do
That's
have to
not
give
wrong.
credit to the finish itself, but you actually have to look at the play before, where Figal and Torres, they slid tackle to the same ball, and they both missed,
Yeah.
and it
That's what I'm
bounced.
saying. It's lucky.
I think it was skill, man.
But you can't take away the skill from the finish.
No.
I'm telling you one thing. If it wasn't last season's top goal scorer who got that chance, I don't think every single forward in the league would have scored that.
It was
I
nasty.
agree.
It was cheeky.
LAFC, they had a few chances as well, but in return, Miami did too. And I think there was the first few minutes we were very shaky, like as you were saying earlier before we started recording. It looked like a high school match.
Yeah.
And I think I'd agree with that. But I think the last 20 minutes of the game, we definitely cleared up and we found a little bit of structure and we started attacking.
I mean, the fact that we were playing long ball and the forward was being caught alone, for that 21-year-old to be caught alone, he wasn't doing a bad job. Because he actually, for some long balls, he actually did find the space. Now, the downside was that every time he had the ball, he found space, he was alone.
He was alone.
And then
We can't play like that.
we
But
can't.
that happened to a lot of parts in the game. We didn't know what positions we were playing. They would just run down the line and they didn't have anybody.
There was the link was missing. That Pizarro behind the forward, it has to appear more.
It's the first game. We also can't be too critical. We have to give them some space.
I can't fault the
for
guys.
air.
They lost 1-0
It's
against the
1-0.
best team in the league last season.
Exactly. I agree
That's
with
the
that.
bottom line.
We
I
should
agree
have
with
lost
that.
like 4-0 though, or at least 4-1.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Robles, we could have lost by a lot more.
I think it should have been like a 3-0 if you don't if you take out actually let me
But you guys
rephrase
don't-
that, a 2-0, because at least two of the saves, the first one was a nice save, the Robles did it in the very
header.
first the header.
Yeah.
But to me the most amazing save was the 1-on-1 that he took out. He did a split.
Yeah.
That was my favorite
That was
save.
a De Gea save.
That was a good save.
That was with his toe.
We should have scored though. We should have
scored.
I was gonna
We could have at least put one.
You said we should have lost 4-3-0. I mean, to be fair, if you're gonna say something like that, I mean, we could have scored a few goals
We
ourselves.
could have scored.
Okay,
I don't know about
4-1. 4-1. Okay,
We could
let's
have
go.
scored one. Yeah, 4-1.
We could have.
We had a free
4-1.
kick 3 steps outside of the box that we crossed. Like we didn't go for a goal on that. Like come on.
Oh, it was Gwen that crossed it, I think.
Yeah, like bro, going for
My
goal,
boy.
man.
Yeah,
We're
that's
3
true.
steps out of the box.
I mean, let's talk about like positions itself. I mean, if you look at the goalie, man of the match,
Ratings.
10. I don't.
Robles?
We could have lost 4-0.
I can't give him a 10. I can't. If
We-
he conceded a goal, I cannot give him a 10. I'm sorry. I'll give him a 9.
You can't. The thing is that the goal that LAFC. Well, actually,
I can't give him a 10.
I mean, he has no. There's nothing he can do.
9.5.
9.9. I mean, okay.
Because a
9.5.
10 out of 10 performance would have been, better positioning on that goal.
You know what I
It's
think?
possible. The thing is, a 10 is a perfect.
The
you know
thing-
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Giving him a 9 isn't discrediting him whatsoever.
He did
Yeah,
his
that's-
job perfectly. There's not much.
Yeah,
more he
that's
could
true.
do.
I mean,
There's only so much he
After
can
that
do.
error, he
Yeah.
saw his 2 defenders on the floor and he kept going. Vela could have went directly into. He just kept going more.
I mean, you do have to do that when the player's about to shoot. Goalkeepers do tend to actually step forward to cut the angles, which he did, and it was just a wonderful finish by.
You can't take away
by-
from the finish. That was a fantastic finish.
Okay, let's talk about center backs. Both center backs. What do you guys think?
Impressed.
Very nice.
Solid.
Yeah.
Even though I was talking shit about them doing the fuck up against Vela,
Yeah.
they did pretty good.
No,
But-
the Argentinian kid really impressed me, to be honest.
Figal?
Yeah, Figal
Yeah.
was great, man. He made some very, very crucial tackles and interceptions in the back and he was even good on the ball. I saw him distributing, he would make a hard tackle, retrieve the ball and then make a quick pass. And that's what we need. We need forward thinking center backs that don't just clear it all the time. Obviously, we had those moments of just kickball and madness.
Yeah.
But when they given the opportunity, it was evident that they do know how to pass the ball around.
Yeah.
The experience shows, him and Torres. But I would also say that not only their distribution and their defense in the back, but they won balls in corners. They were very proficient when we had corners. If I'm not mistaken, obviously besides that weak shot that Pizarro had, that he gave the rebound and then he gave the cross, he got the header, but there was also another header that went wide. And it's the first game. He won 2 headers out of how many crosses we had? I think 7.
Honestly, it looked like we were going to score on one of those corners.
It did.
Yeah, I think we look dangerous on set pieces. We look dangerous on set pieces.
I wouldn't
at
be
least on the
surprised
corners.
if he scores more frequent from corners. For sure.
We're at the wharf and everybody pulled out their phone in corner case like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It's coming, and then we just get putting them down.
Okay.
Fullbacks. Okay, let's start. I know what we're gonna say. Let's start with the left
Should we
back.
go left back or right back?
Let's go
There's
left
2
back.
extremes.
Let's go left back. I was very impressed from Ben Sweat.
It was
Every time he went up with a purpose.
Hot and cold situation.
I would think so because you have Ben Sweat on one side, and then
Sweat killed it.
and then you have Powell on the other side.
He was good and he helped out the attack a lot.
Yeah.
He started a lot of plays. I don't know the exact number, but he initiated so many attacks.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know if you guys remember one play. He did everything right to me, like from what I remember, except one play that he actually, like I said, every time he goes up determined. He goes 50-50, he goes hard. And there's one that he got like 2 50-50s and he won. And then it was just him going forward with 2 people making a run. And he just took 2 seconds too long to make the pass and we lost it and then we got the counter. But I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, Ben Sweat definitely had a great game. After seeing the first game, I do think that most of our attacks, like goal scoring opportunities, are going to come from the left hand side of Ben Sweat and Matias Pellegrini.
I agree.
What about the right hand side?
Ooh. That's where
Yikes.
the critics come in.
Yeah.
It's the first game.
I mean,
though.
It's the first game.
First
Yes,
game.
the first game.
We
Come
can't.
on.
We can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't bash the guy too much, but he had a pretty horrible game.
Yeah.
I mean, we did every time we wanted to go up and we wanted to have a cross. There's one play. I don't know. You were talking about it earlier
Oh yeah.
where he tried to.
Yeah, where it's like a nice square second post, just give it to us, and it's just nope. Let's send it to the stands. It's like,
Yeah.
AJ, it's your time, man.
yeah.
I think AJ should get at least the starting spot. DC just
he's
test him out.
fast though. He's extremely
fast.
Dog.
Oh, the play where he runs into the.
He smoked them.
Yo.
He's but what does he use that? For example, there's one long ball that he sent over him, and yeah, the guy was offside by a bit, but he just looked at it.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
yeah.
flat.
He didn't attack the ball.
He
it
did,
was
and then
flat.
he
It
just
went
looked
over.
and went over him, and then the other team was attacking.
But it's the first game. Obviously, it wasn't. I think he probably had the weakest performance out of the whole team.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't finished, but it's the first game. Just like how Ben Sweat, there was sometimes going up, he didn't, but it's the first game. You get more the chemistry, the links. Eventually, he's gonna know the plays. He's gonna know who's gonna make the run. He knows where he has to put the ball. Moving out of the wing backs.
What about the 2 CDMs, Trap and Ulloa? I think they did their job. They didn't do bad.
Yeah.
They weren't outstanding.
Yeah.
they didn't stick out.
Yeah, they didn't
just
really
held it
stand
down.
out.
They did.
That
What,
helped the defense a lot. That was good.
yeah, like it's not their job to go up. So, like I said, actually defending and just staying back. I think Ulloa got caught out of position a couple of times, but it wasn't bad. Like we didn't lose the midfield that bad.
Yeah.
And now let's go up to the midfield, which it was Pellegrini, Pizarro,
And Morgan.
and Morgan. Let's leave Pizarro for a little bit. Let's start with Pellegrini.
Start with Pellegrini.
Yeah.
I think I only saw him like 2 times in the game. To me, honestly, the midfield was very lost. Like there was no chemistry. We stated before the forward is by himself a lot. If the forward is by himself, the midfield is lost.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what position Pellegrini was playing.
Right.
Uh,
I mean, Pellegrini, I think I expected a little bit more from him, given that he was, one of those initial signings that, we definitely, we paid a lot of money for him. He wasn't cheap. He's one of our more expensive players. So, given the price tag that we paid for him, I was expecting maybe a little bit more from him. But I mean, as you guys have been mentioning, it's the first game of the season, and I wasn't going to hold any of the players to an unrealistic expectation. I went into the game hopeful for a win, but very being very realistic that most likely we're probably going to lose this game. And I was okay with that, you know.
I mean,
especially with the performance. A 1-0 against the League.
It's not
a bad result.
Not bad. Take that for sure.
And you know, as the chemistry keeps growing, you know, I'm sure that Pellegrini and Pizarro and all these guys are going to start linking up. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if game by game we see that development. You know.
I mean, there was a few times Pellegrini, like, tactically on the ball, he was good. He had good passing. I think I saw him take the ball.
He's quick.
2 times. Like, yeah, he recovered the ball a few times.
Yeah.
But now the next DP, Pizarro. Honestly, I personally expected more.
It's the expectation of him was just too high. It was like he set the bar way too high. This is gonna be our guy. And then it's like, you know.
I didn't really see much. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's gonna. I hope he shuts me up for next game.
I think I'm one of the people who was probably not as critical on Pizarro. I'm pretty hopeful that he's gonna do well. You know, I definitely saw glimpses in there. He could be a class player. You know, coming from the Liga MX, which is, you know, very competitively. You know, he played well there. Like, I just don't understand how that wouldn't translate to the MLS. You know, it's happened plenty of times where players come from bigger leagues and kill it in the MLS.
I mean, it takes
and I think
time.
give him a couple of games. You know,
I mean,
he was handed the number 10 chair almost like immediately.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
expectations are up here for him. But, you know,
Martinez was the same
let the rest of the team click and let him start doing his thing. And, you know, maybe halfway through the season, we'll see a different Pizarro than we saw on Sunday.
He's got to stand out more, though.
Yeah.
He's not standing out. He's kind of just slipping in the cracks.
That's what I mean. Like, a lot of the times we attacked and went forward, the ball actually went through him a lot. Like, the ball was constantly on the number 10. And that's good. That's what you want. But what I'm saying is he needs to show up. A lot of times that he had the ball, it didn't really amount to anything. Like, we didn't really go anywhere. We lost the ball a lot. Our passes, I would say they would have like a less than a 50% chance, like 50% accuracy. Like, we would have a ball going forward and it would be either intercepted or keep going and then end up with a goalie. It was nice seeing him constantly be on the ball because he obviously wants it, but I need to see more aggressive.
That's the thing. I mean, it's the first game, and the fact that we did see glimpses of him having the class that we wanted number 10 to have. For example, in the last 10 minutes, we did see some productive heel passes just to cut through lines, to break lines, and to go forward.
That's like
something
you want from like an individual player to spark.
Yeah, exactly. And those sparks have to be productive. Like I said, those passes were like a heel to go forward and to actually check again. Like, those are good things. Yeah. But it just wasn't enough. But like I said, that makes me a little bit more calm because, like I said, it's the first game, and I feel like that's gonna happen.
It showed glimpses of what's to come. Because
exactly.
If we had that in good moments or some 5-10 minutes of one half, like 2 months in, we're gonna, when like the chemistry's flowing, that's gonna be one whole half with constant pressure, constantly going up. Like, the game was pretty good. I mean, it was constantly back and forth. It might have been sloppy, and the ball might have never went into the box and not gone across. But we were constantly going back and forth to each area. Like, it was a good game, especially like you reiterated, against the best regular season MLS team.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying also not to criticize so much because a 1-0 against that team, I'd take it for sure. I don't think it was a failure at all. Whether Orlando City or Atlanta fans are going to say something, for our first game, I think that was a great result. And
I would say, and then let's just keep moving forward. Let's see if anybody disagrees with me with Morgan, which was the right mid. It was the same thing as Pellegrini. He didn't show up. I'm just expecting more from him. You can see he's fast.
Yeah,
you can see
but maybe it's a change of tactics, formation.
Yeah,
one forward by himself. Yeah, maybe we need two forwards, man.
You don't like You don't like one forward?
No.
I love one. The formation, to me, my favorite formation is the one they're playing. And that's the most balanced formation, thinking that you have two people that don't really go up that much. Because normally if you have three people in the middle, one is the 6, which just stays back, and then you have two people that are kind of a mix. And sometimes they do go up a little bit more, and that person stays alone. But having two CDMs, you're more secure in the back, and you give number 10, which normally drops back between them, to more freedom of going up. Now, the movement is what we got to work.
But that's the thing. I mean, you're more secure, but you're kind of just sitting. And you're expecting like 3 or 4 people to attack against the line of 6. Because every time we attack, LAFC's been in the league. Right. They know what it's like. They were on us like crazy. Robertson would go by himself, and he'd have 2-3 guys, and they close him, recover the ball, and come out. It's a good formation, but I don't think it's going to last.
It's a solid formation. It'll get you results. It'll give you a lot of 1-0 wins. But I'm going to be honest, as a fan, I don't want to see us stay in that
Me neither.
formation. I want to see us play a little
If
more
anything,
attacking.
we needed one CDM and we need another player in offense. We need
Give me a
another-
4-3-3.
Yeah, at least make the CDM drop back, have a line of 3, and have the wing backs have a solid back 3 and just constantly attack. To
Oh,
the
yeah.
wings.
Now let's talk about the forward before we jump into the DC game.
Impressed.
One word to describe him.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
For what he could do.
I mean, what can you expect from him? I mean, you get the ball and then there'd be 3 people on him, 3-4 people on him. It's like,
That's true.
What do you can't. You look down and then it's like, all right, let me try to make something. What are you gonna make out of that?
Yeah.
That's true. He was caught too alone so many
Yeah.
times.
One word to describe him, his performance. I would actually probably surprised. You know, I was expecting not much from him, to be honest. And he, for the few moments that he got the ball and received it, he was holding the ball well. You know, he was holding off some of these experienced defenders. Like,
Yeah.
he was shielding the ball well. And, you know, he didn't play with any fear, which is something I really...
Yeah, you're talking
I
about a
enjoyed.
21-yearul
Yeah.
that just came.
He was fast.
Yeah,
He was winning
20.
people.
Right.
21-year-old
So
just
small.
came out of college
He's
or university.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, put me out there, not gonna do any
He's
good.
solid. I just think that he needs support. He needs another forward.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess we can start on the next topic, which is the game against DC this weekend. What are your thoughts as far as formation and players go?
Excited.
You excited?
I'm excited. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited.
You think we're gonna win?
Yeah, I kind of I would like to see it. I'm gonna be at the wharf. I'm gonna be watching this game.
We're all gonna. You're gonna be at the wharf.
Of
I'm gonna
course.
be at the wharf.
Optimistic. Yeah, I'll be at the wharf.
Yeah. I think they're gonna run back the tape of this game and they're gonna change up some stuff and they're gonna make some subs and I think they're gonna tactically come to play a little bit better.
Now you gotta think about. I mean, not think about, but I actually saw the DC game. I'm pretty sure you guys didn't see it because you couldn't see it here. You had to pay. I don't know, but I happy not have that boo boo thing. I could watch it. So I was watching it, and man, DC looked weak defensive wise.
Defense. Yeah.
The goal that they conceded in the 90th minute, or like towards the end of the game, was shambolic defending.
Yeah.
I'm talking ping pong straight out of MacArthur High School.
We saw it.
Very
That
nice
one.
work.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean,
No, it was a mess in the box.
it was very bad. But now going up, they have this player that came from Atlanta United, the German. What's his name? Gressel. That's the guy we got to shut down. Their cam, their center attacking mid, their creative player. That's the guy they got to shut down because every time he had the ball, he linked up with their new DP Flores.
Yeah, well, your compatriot Flores, I mean, I've seen him play. I think he's a very good player.
He's good,
And
but I
you've
think-
seen this kid play since he was a child, pretty
Yeah,
much.
since he was 16 actually. But like I said, the thing about him is that he has to link up with somebody that actually knows how to touch the ball too, because he's fast, he's quick, but he's not the person that's gonna take up 3 people and
Right.
score.
Yeah.
And every time he linked up with that Gressel player, you did see some type of nice creative soccer going, being created. Now, when they didn't link up, DC was a mess. They were pretty bad.
Yeah, and the defense was bad. That goal was.
They were pretty bad. I mean, I would expect to Miami just to come out a little less nervous because now
Yeah,
they got the first game out of the way.
Yeah, they got self-esteem now. I mean, they lost, of course. Well, we lost, but we lost against the best regular team.
Yeah,
you
you-
can't,
there's
be mad about that.
Yeah, there's nothing
We
you
showed
can.
up. We had 16 shots, 7 on target against the best team.
I mean, that wasn't the options. I mean, you don't go to LA and say, "Well, we're gonna win. We're gonna win." The probabilities of you losing
Yeah.
is higher.
Bro, I don't know, bro. I feel what you guys are saying, but like, you don't go into a game thinking, all right, let's see what we can do. No, you go into the game like,
Yeah,
yo,
you
we're
gotta
gonna
win.
win this.
No,
shit.
obviously, but in the probabilities, you're still gonna have the losing option against the best regular team. It's not like, let's say you're going to Orlando, that they never made it to a playoffs, and you're like, if I don't take 3 points from here,
Orlando's
Shots.
Never made it to the playoffs.
obviously not.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know.
Yeah, they're that bad.
Wait,
but
no.
like I said,
As a team.
but like I said, like it's not like you facing one of those teams that you go and you're like, okay, they're not good, or at least good enough, and I can take those 3 points instead of going to LAFC, which was the best regular team of last year, and you have a guy that's inspired by something because he's never played like that outside of the US.
Yeah.
To me, he was always garbage. But
If you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best.
Yeah,
Well,
but
we will.
it was
When
our first game.
When LA
Cut them
comes
some
to
slack.
Yeah, come
No
on.
slack.
No slack. Look at this guy.
No slack.
I watched the highlights of the DC game, and that defense. The only thing that gave me some hope is that Roman and Figal,
Look solid.
Yeah.
our corners, we have to capitalize on our corners, on our set pieces in general. Because
Yes.
like Cross that you stated,
Yes.
it was he could have shot it, the free kick,
Yeah.
but even the cross was bad.
Keep in mind,
Yeah.
their
The
goal
cross
their
on top
goal
of that.
was a set piece also. Their one goal in that game was off of a corner kick.
Yeah.
So we also need to be
No, you get actually
cognizant
also
of our defense.
if you actually think about the chances that LAFC had, every ball that went in the air, I felt secure and I didn't feel nervous at one point because I knew I had Figal and Torres in the back that actually gave me that confidence that they were able to get there first, just because of how they're so physical players and experienced players. Because I mean, Figal is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 26.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
know that they're there.
Yeah.
Like, you know that their presence is felt.
It's going to be a different game against DC because their players are probably going to be more aggressive in the air than LA. LA has a lot of technical players who are very good on the ball.
Yeah.
They do these like intricate little touches around the box. DC, they're going to rely more on their big guys to bully our players around a little more.
That's good.
And one of the underlying problems that DC has that I think will play into our hands is the fact that I think that those players are probably mentally broken right now because we talk about this 2-1 loss that that the other team snatched in the last minutes of the game, but a lot of people might remember that back in October in DC's first playoff game, they tied the game in the 93rd minute to go to extra time, and then they conceded 4 goals
Oh.
in extra time.
Oh.
So that was their last game of last season. So, got destroyed in extra time. And now their first game of the season, they concede another last minute goal.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, mentally those players are probably, I think their spirits are probably broken.
And let them be broken.
Don't
Don't
and
bring
like
them.
I said, any little
bring 'em up.
advantage that, that Inter's going to have, all the better for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's just one little thing that I think, could to our favor. But on the flip side, they could probably come out hungry and say, we better destroy the new kids on the block.
Yeah.
No, fuck that.
No.
No, they're.
I'm still going with, I say 2-1 win.
2-1 win.
Let's close this off with predictions. Start over there.
I say 1-1 tie.
1-1 tie. Okay.
I say a
I
tie.
mean,
I thought you said like a few minutes ago you had to go all
You
out.
have to go out to win, especially
you
if it's
don't go-
LAFC in your first game. But let me say we're going to tie against DC.
You guys know I did not say that.
They
All you gotta
do.
do is rewind.
No.
So
You
1-1.
say 1-1?
I would like to say 2-1. No, I would like to
Go
say
1-1. Go.
No,
Stick to your go. You,
Well, 1-1.
you said 1-1.
1-1.
I know.
Just
2-1.
We haven't finished. We haven't seen the ball behind the net yet. We don't
You're
know
gonna
what
say-
we're doing.
We're going to more than once.
You're going to say 2-1. All right,
2-1.
so let me go with a 2-0. 2-0. I think we're gonna get our first clean sheet of the season.
Oh.
How you gonna take my score? Let me say something different because we
You
talked
can say
about
2-0.
Say
It
0-0.
doesn't matter.
Say 0-0.
It's 2-1. You can
Young
agree with
fest.
us.
we lose.
Oh.
Nah, man, we're gonna win 2-0. We're gonna win 2-0, and Robinson's gonna score at least 1 goal. I can guarantee that.
Pellegrini and Pizarro are my 2 goal scorers.
Oh.
Go.
Oof. I would say Robinson for sure. No, I say both Robinson.
I say my guy Ben Sweat.
You think so?
He's gonna score
He's gonna
one or
give
both.
an assist.
I think he's gonna give an
He's gonna
assist.
give an assist.
Assist?
He's gonna assist him. Yeah.
Bro, I really liked them going up. Like I was very surprised.
He's solid.
He was very solid.
Very solid.
Surprise.
Right.
I'm gonna win this.
Let's put $1. Let's put $1 in.
Oh.
No, but you guys should give us your predictions for the DC game in the comments below, and hopefully we get the result. It doesn't matter how many goals we score as long as we win. I mean, I think we can all agree.
Yeah, I'll
with
take
that.
a 1-0 own goal at this point.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, we just gotta start racking points, man, because all that matters is playoffs.
And the best thing will be winning to the first home game.
First home game.
Yeah.
So
That's
if-
gonna be a tough game.
Yeah.
But if we played LAFC that well at home, I think we should put on. We're gonna be putting
Away?
on a way better.
No, we-
Be the best.
No,
You
at
gotta
home
be
against
the
LA.
best.
I
Okay.
think by the time we play our first home game,
Gotcha.
I mean, LA
up there.
LA Galaxy's up there, and I mean, Chicharito did pretty bad against in the first game.
I'm not too worried about
I'm-
Chicharito.
and-
That's a podcast for another day. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully we see you guys at the Wharf in Fort Lauderdale. If you're in the Miami area, they have a wharf down there too. They're awesome venues to come check out the game. So, and if you see us there, hit us up. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Let us have it. All right, guys.
Well,
have a good one.
See you next time.
Yo, who's Chicharito?